for the New Mexico Office of the Medical Investigator. Dr. Aaron Phipps.
In the dead of night, an old letter exploded like a hidden bomb, sending shockwaves through the FBI. Each trembling word reveals a gut-wrenching goodbye and unspeakable secrets, unmasking a dark tale that will leave your heart pounding. In the shadows of forgotten memories and the silence of unresolved tragedies, an ancient, cryptic letter written in fading ink sent tremors through the corridors of power and into the hearts of investigators worldwide. For years, the FBI had quietly pursued every lead in a bizarre case, one where even the smallest detail hinted at a darker truth lurking beneath the veneer of everyday life. This wasn't merely a case of an abandoned note. It was a window into a sinister narrative woven with loss, despair, and meticulously hidden secrets. How could such a letter vanish without a trace after a catastrophic event? Who possessed the power and the will to erase it from history? And what unspeakable revelation was buried within its trembling lines that compelled the FBI to reopen the case with renewed, feverish determination? These questions echo like mournful whispers from a past long buried, urging anyone who dares to uncover the truth. Betsy Arakawa was a woman of grace and quiet strength. Known for her calm demeanor and refined elegance, she had been more than just the devoted wife of cinematic icon Gene Hackman. She was a pillar of silent resilience and tender affection. Her final days were chronicled in a series of seemingly mundane yet heart-wrenching snapshots, captured on security cameras and recorded in the faded pages of her personal diary. February 9, 2025. On a crisp winter morning, the camera caught a tender moment as Betsy gently escorted her beloved dog, Xena, from the veterinary clinic back to the mansion. Dressed in a light blue jacket, comfortably worn jeans, and a pair of well-loved sneakers, she exuded a warmth that belied the internal storm. Her soft smile, full of quiet affection, masked a mounting despair that only the keenest observer might sense. February 11, 2025. In a seemingly ordinary scene at the bustling local farmer's market, Betsy was seen carefully selecting a bouquet of bright sunflowers. Later, she made a stop at a CVS pharmacy, and then at a pet store, where she engaged in an unexpectedly animated discussion about the best food options for her cherished companion. To onlookers, these were simply signs of a woman living her day-to-day life. Yet, beneath the surface, there lay a series of small, yet significant deviations from her routine. Friends noted her abrupt cancellation of a decade-long monthly massage appointment with the vague excuse of feeling exhausted. Her usually vibrant and friendly text messages had dwindled into a disquieting silence. Moreover, the unspoken burden of caring for her ailing husband, Gene Hackman, a man grappling with the cruel progression of Alzheimer's, had taken an irrevocable toll on her spirit. Betsy's diary entries, discovered posthumously, were replete with subtle hints of her inner anguish. In one entry, she wrote about the endless struggle of maintaining appearances in the face of unbearable sorrow, as if each day was a battle fought on the fragile battleground of her soul. These pages, once dismissed as the ramblings of a weary mind, now formed a crucial part of the investigation, a silent testament to a love that was fading into oblivion. The Hackman Mansion, once a proud symbol of refined living, nestled in the heart of Santa Fe, New Mexico, had slowly transformed into a mausoleum of lost dreams and unspoken regrets. The sprawling estate, with its meticulously maintained gardens and elegant facade, now exuded an aura of desolation. It was as if the very walls absorbed the sorrow of its inhabitants, becoming a silent witness to the unraveling of a once idyllic life. Gene Hackman, whose mind was steadily eroded by Alzheimer's, clung desperately to the remnants of routine. Every morning he shuffled toward the kitchen, driven by a primal need to uphold a semblance of normalcy. In a poignant yet tragic ritual, he would prepare a simple breakfast for himself, a routine that had outlasted his ability to truly comprehend the world around him. His favorite chair, positioned by a window that once framed a vibrant garden lovingly tended by Betsy, now served as a monument to the quiet void that had replaced her presence. The isolation of the couple was palpable. Their detachment from neighbors and refusal to engage with the digital world meant that the true state of affairs within those walls went unnoticed for far too long. It was only when a pervasive, nauseating odor, a telltale sign of decay, began to seep through the halls that the grim reality was finally acknowledged by an unsuspecting passerby. The mansion had transformed into a house of death, where every creak in the floorboards and every flicker of light seemed to mourn a bygone era of love and life. Hidden amidst the clutter of a vibrant life was a letter, Betsy's final, heart-wrenching farewell, that would later emerge as the keystone of the investigation. This letter, written in trembling hand and imbued with the raw anguish of a soul in torment, stood as an unfiltered confession of a woman caught in the relentless grip of despair. In her final words, Betsy confessed, "I am utterly exhausted. Every day as I gaze into my husband's eyes, I wonder if he still sees me." Her admission, stark and unembellished, evoked images of a spirit suffocating under the weight of isolation and grief. She went on to reveal a painful paradox. "I do not want to leave, but I cannot bear to stay." These words raised more questions than they answered. Was Betsy's demise a tragic act of suicide, born from a deep-seated hopelessness that had festered unnoticed? Or was there a hidden narrative, perhaps one where Gene, in a fleeting moment of lucidity, had once grasped the full extent of her sorrow, only to misinterpret her silent plea? Every line of that letter was a fragment of a puzzle, a stark reminder of the turbulent emotions that had quietly roiled beneath the surface of her calm exterior. Investigators later pondered over the letter's mysterious disappearance. How had it vanished from the scene, leaving only cryptic traces behind? Was it the work of a determined saboteur intent on concealing the truth? Or had it simply succumbed to the ravages of time in a manner that defied explanation? The letter's sudden absence deepened the intrigue, fueling a relentless quest for the answers that lay hidden in its ghostly script. A shocking twist emerged from the forensic reports. Betsy had been infected with the hantavirus, a virulent pathogen notorious for its 38% mortality rate and its unusual mode of transmission via rodents. At first glance, the virus seemed to offer a plausible explanation for her untimely death. However, as investigators delved deeper into the evidence, inconsistencies began to surface that challenged the natural cause theory. Forensic experts were baffled by the absence of any signs of rodents or other typical carriers within the Hackman estate. In a mansion that once boasted impeccable upkeep, there were no traces of the vermin that usually herald the presence of the hantavirus. Even more perplexing was the fact that while Betsy fell victim to the lethal pathogen, Gene, who had shared every cramped moment of their life, remained inexplicably unscathed by the infection. Adding another layer of complexity, one of their dogs was found dead under mysterious circumstances. The other two pets, visibly traumatized, could only offer silent testimony to the chaos that had ensued. These disjointed pieces of evidence led the FBI to consider a chilling possibility. Could the virus have been deliberately introduced into the household? Was this a meticulously orchestrated act of murder disguised as a natural outbreak? The calculated precision with which the scene had been arranged suggested a mastermind capable of manipulating both biological agents and human perception. A predator hiding behind the guise of a natural disaster. In the wake of these revelations, the FBI reopened its files, determined to untangle the complex web of clues that bound the lives of Betsy Arakawa and Gene Hackman. Every piece of evidence, from the haunting letter to the inexplicable presence of the hantavirus, was re-examined under a new, unyielding scrutiny. Investigators pored over every diary entry, every security footage frame, and every forensic detail, convinced that somewhere within the layers of this tragedy lay the truth. The mansion in Santa Fe became a silent character in its own right, a grim monument to lost dreams and suppressed secrets. As the investigation unfolded, whispers of conspiracy began to surface, suggesting that beneath the veneer of ordinary life lurked a calculated design. The case served as a sobering reminder that appearances can be deceiving, and that behind every smile and every routine act may lie a story of profound sorrow and meticulously concealed deceit. Betsy's letter, now more than just a fragment of paper, had transformed into a symbolic cry for justice, a reminder that the pain of the past refuses to fade into silence without a fight. The chilling mystery of the letter and the baffling sequence of events that followed remain etched into the annals of FBI history, a tale that continues to haunt both those who lived through it and those who now search for answers in the echoes of a tragic past. The case is far from closed. With every new piece of evidence, the investigation takes on an even darker hue, compelling us to confront the uncomfortable truth that some mysteries, once awakened, never truly rest. The legacy of Betsy Arakawa and Gene Hackman serves as an enduring warning that behind the facades of our daily lives, the shadows of despair and the specters of secrets may linger long after the lights have dimmed. Thank you for being here. Every like, comment, and subscription inspires me to keep creating.